This is for you, Ash. I'm playing some Rob Zombie. We're back here with Jen, the Taxidermy Witch, and we're doing Q&A for my 100th subscriber. Yay! Thank you guys so much. I love you. So, Ash, I love that name, says, what is your favorite song by Rob Zombie? And hers is Dragula. So I'm playing that for her. My favorite song by Rob Zombie is the next song that comes up on this, and it is Living Dead Girl. Because I'm so enamored by Sherry Moon Zombie. That's why I made my big dreads. I saw Lords of Salem. Like, I'm so much more into his movies, you guys. The movies that I love of Rob Zombie. Oh, I have to say, when I listen to Rob Zombie or any music, Pink Floyd, The Doors, anything, I have this little tiny micro mini, and it has these Italian speakers in it. It's the only place that I can turn the music up the loudest, and I can just like, it's in my ears. And I call my car Anthea, and that's the mother from the show Skins in the UK. I'm just enamored with her as well, and I'm enamored with my car. So anyway, that's where I listen to most of my Rob Zombie, but I can really crank this up, like, really loud. So that's nice. Like, these Crossley players, like, they play CDs and records. It's really awesome, I think. So, my favorite Rob Zombie movie, though, is Lords of Salem. You know. And then, House of a Thousand Corpses, I named my kitten Otis Driftwood, if you've ever seen that movie. I love that character. I know it's awful, but I'm just being honest. I also love his movie 31, and his Halloween remakes are, like, horrifying. So if you like horror movies, holy poo, like, get into it. And, oh my god, you guys, this is insane. He's coming out with a new one. We thought that in Devil's Rejects he was done. No! He's touring right now, and as soon as he's done with his tour, he's editing this movie, and it is called 3 from Hell. So if you like Devil's Rejects and you were sad because House of a Thousand Corpses and Devils were done, because they all died in the end, you know, right? With the song Freebird came on and they were in the car. No. 3 from Hell is coming out, and the preview that's on YouTube, check it out, but it's only like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. It's like, Rob Zombie, you are making us die inside with anxiety of excitement. So anyway, 3 from Hell, really excited about it. Next question. What is your most potent and powerful ingredient of all? Well, I would say dragon's blood resin, because I keep it with me to make me feel safe. And here's my mother rock. I've shown it so many times. But I actually carry this in my purse a lot of times. And also I would say that, like, Eyebright, it amps up any spell. And then also, William, my mandrake root, where is it? I don't know. Also mandrake, like, that's like probably one of my most powerful ingredients, but it's poisonous, so you just have to be really careful. I don't know where the heck it is. He's hiding. I honestly don't know. I thought it. Oh, right. It's a nightshade, and I'm doing a video on nightshades. So anyway, mandrake root, super powerful ingredient. And you can also use the American mayapple. But I was getting ready to do a video on nightshades, which is coming up. And also I'm doing a video on Billy Meyer and aliens. So get excited for that. Those are like my next 2 I'm stacking up. And here's Living Dead Girl. That's my favorite Rob Zombie song. like to charge spells like that, like with music, and just like throw my energy with the music. It's so good. Okay, this is also from Ash, do you have an essential oil blend that you like to use in magical workings? Well, yes I do. I am a massage therapist. I don't know if I've told you guys much about that, but I did a whole like module in massage school about understanding the medicinal properties of them, and now I'm understanding the magical properties, which I love putting those together. So yeah, my favorite blend to put in like a coconut oil carrier is frankincense and sweet orange in a coconut oil that's above 75 degrees. That way it's liquid, and if it solidifies it's fine, the oils will be in there, but when you put these in you need it to be liquid. So you could also use like a sweet almond oil. That would be lovely. Also, so the frankincense and orange would be like grounding but uplifting, so they would have a really deep state of massage, or if you were using this not for massage but for magics, you could have a really good meditation, you could have some really good focus. Now something that'll put you out a little bit more is clary sage. It's a 4-star sedative, and in the medicinal world of essential oils there are no other sedatives, and this one's 4 stars, and the most stars is 4. So this is super powerful. Clary sage and lavender is amazing. Clary sage and chamomile is amazing. Clary sage and bergamot, woo! Or lime. Oh my gosh, lime essential oil is amazing. Okay, so now let's talk about. Do I have a pen pal? I love that word in that question. And I don't know that many people use it anymore. No, I've never had a pen pal. I think once in school we had to write a letter to the guys that were in the war in whatever war it was. I am horrible. Anyway, the wars in the early 90s. Gulf Wars, right, the Gulf War. So we had to write a letter to them, and I was like 11 or something, maybe in 5th grade. And the letter was just like, I hope you're doing okay, blah, blah, blah. And I never got a letter back, and a lot of my other friends did. So I don't know, like, if the soldier that I wrote to, like, passed away, that would be so sad. But, like, I didn't get a letter back, and I was really disappointed. And that kind of built up to me feeling lonely again, just, like, all by myself. Like, everyone else got a Valentine, but I didn't, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the universe, like, just plays out that way, so you just gotta accept it, I suppose. My next comments and questions are from Slushy Road from YouTube. So, I think I'm here for that. Sorry guys, I do this super, like, old school, just paper and pen, you know? So Slushy Road asks, just have to answer it how I answer it. Do I have a spell book? No. I tried, but I'm like super procrastinator, so I just type them over here on my typewriter. And I want to tell a story about that. Energies are attached to things, right? Like this phone. People use this for communication and desperation and happiness and joy in whatever they made the call for, okay? So much energy went through that. I got a vintage typewriter, an old Royal from the 40s, like a war typewriter, because I thought they were so gorgeous and so cool. When I used it, I felt sick. So I ended up getting just a brand new typewriter that looks old, so that it can just be my energies, because I'm just typing spells in that, and I type letters. Also, back to the pen pal thing, I have typed letters to famous icons from that, and received a couple of replies. So if you guys want to know who those people are, I think if you type something on a typewriter and somebody opens the letter and it's typed, they'll read it, because it's the year 2018, and somebody typed you a letter. Let me show you like how I type my spells. And I just have like pages of, you know, hand notes and everything. So what I'm saying is, like, if you opened up a letter and it wasn't just like, now we do texts and emails, but like physical correspondence is so cool. I gotta catch up on my correspondence. It's like sitting down and texting. Like, it's old school stuff. Let's get back into these ways because they're so fun. But I just want to show you, like, for instance, this is my 777 moon oil, and that is this one, I think. And then some of the other ones that I've typed up here and here. Okay, so I type up my spells, but then, like, if I don't have time to type them, I just make sure I have it on my YouTube channel. That way it's kind of like a book of spells online, right? Like, I don't have to do it at that point. So, I mean, for me. But you know what? I've seen so many gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous grimoires and books of shadows on the Pagans and Amino app. Like, you guys are so creative. Like, putting feathers, drawing in there, putting all your information. And I hope that some of the information I give you goes into a grimoire and book of shadows. I know that my best sister friend, Ashley Johnston in Scotland, has put some of my color videos in her books of shadows, and I'm just like, that touches my heart so much, and that's exactly what I want to do. I don't earn money from this. I do this because I love you guys. So there's that. What's your next question, Slushy Road? Have you ever lost passion in your practice? Yes. At the beginning, 2 years ago, when I figured out witchcraft was really what I've been doing my whole life, but not knowing it. When I figured that out, I thought I wanted to get into Wicca and paganism. And I still might, but right now I'm just doing eclectic witchcraft. So people would call me an eclectic witch. I just call myself a witch. But here's the question. So I thought that I needed a wand, an anime, all these pieces of things. I thought I needed all of that, and it was like, you have to go forge these things and make them, and it's so much energy, it takes so much time. That put me off for like 2 months. I got all into it. I bought loads of things, but I didn't have everything, and it put me off. And then I had Scott Cunningham's books that I always refer to, and I just sat down and I started reading them, and I realized that I don't need a wand, I don't need an anime, I don't need a besom, I don't need a big giant stuffed cougar above my head. I don't need anything but myself. So once I realized that, I got straight back into it and used what I had. And you guys, I haven't bought anything for witchcraft since that time. Like, I bought all this stuff. Not the taxidermy, I've just always had that, but like all these things, and then they just sat there, and I got sad. But it was a small period, and then I jumped right back into it because I started reading. So I would say, make sure you read, so that you understand that it's so simple and so easy. You can go in your kitchen and forage cinnamon and cumin and coriander and mustard and curry and all those things, right? Parsley, basil, gosh, the list goes on. Everything in your kitchen is a magical ingredient, I'm pretty sure. Even passion fruits, for Pete's sakes. So, Slushy Road, thank you very much for the comment, and I'm really glad that I got to show you guys some of my typed spells. I'm proud of them. I think that they're really, really cool. 7 saffron stamen, hand chosen for beauty. 7 star anise petals. a hearty pinch of mugwort, prophetic dreams and astral projection, 1 whole cinnamon stick for stirring, 1 single fresh honeysuckle flower, 7 brown mustard seeds for mental powers, 7 yellow mustard seeds, a heavy pinch of powdered eyebright. The list goes on, but like I just detailed exactly what I did. I did it and I came over here and typed it. I did it and I came over here and typed it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my system. And I think if you can get that system going, A+. Like it's super fun. Okay, so next we're on to the questions from the Pagans and Witches Amino app. I only had 1 question from there from Bella Luna. She said, so happy to see your channel is flourishing. Thank you. I'm happy as well. So happy. I'd love to hear about how you found your way to fully embrace witchcraft on your path. Excellent question. And then she also says, you've mentioned a few things here and there, but would love to hear how your family ties into them. So that's a difficult question, but I'm going to try and answer it, okay? In my opinion, you have to love yourself fully and have confidence in what you do and what you are. I tell my family and extended family everything I do, and they see what I do. But they are mainly Christian, including my husband has Christian-based beliefs. I don't want to scare any of them, but my husband, I told straight away what I was doing. We don't hide anything from each other, and he's like, okay. You know, he's really accepting of different, like, openness to religions and practices, aspects, and rituals and things. So, but, I mean, it's hard because you don't want to scare your family because they have this Hollywood idea of what witches are, witchcraft is. Wicca is kind of like an easier word because people don't really know what it means. You know what I mean? So, they all have this Hollywood mindset, which has been programmed into their head. So I just never lie, and I'm true to myself. I go tell them, like, I say, what did you do yesterday? Peggy will ask me, and I'll say, oh yeah, I went out, it was full moon last night, and I went out and I tied copper wire and stones around my bottles, and I put them out in the moonlight, and I went out there and I meditated and I prayed and sat with my tree and put some herbs on the ground. And she's like, oh, cool. You don't have to say you're a witch. You don't have to say you're doing witchcraft. Because you guys, those people, those Christians and those other folks that are asking you what you're doing, they're doing witchcraft as well. They just don't know it. It's just a word that I feel has been, like, so poorly treated, you know? Okay, and I think it's because it's so powerful. That's why it's poorly treated. So, so I just never lie, and I'm true to myself. My husband is the only one in my family besides my closest brother, Daryl, who I've recently opened up to and shared my channel with. It was a big step for me. He was surprised, though. Very happy, very supportive. Peggy, my mother, recently told me out of nowhere that she loves me no matter what I do or who I am. Just on a random. So that was really cool. I feel like that's super tied to what was going on in my life. So, alright, now we're on to Violet's questions. It looks like we have time. And Violet is the operator of the Amino app, the Witch's Circle. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out because it is a great app that she's started. It's a great Amino app that she started. And I absolutely love her and her page. So, what is my favorite piece of taxidermy? Okay, I'll show you. I just got this last December. And I don't keep it in my room. It stays in the living room. It's from Germany. It was taxidermied in 1945. And it is an actual real owl. His feet are really cool. Now, in witchcraft, see how big he is? This size. In witchcraft, if an owl flies into your house, the superstition is someone will die. I've not felt any like super negative things with that owl being in the house. I feel like it's more of like a guarding thing because it's not alive. It didn't fly into the house. But you tell me your thoughts if you know anything on owls in the house. But I don't keep it in my room, and I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? It's just how I feel. Alright, talk about what I believe in. That's a hard one, you guys. What do I believe in? I believe in a lot of things. A lot of things. But I was brought up Christian. My dad had a very strong Catholic upbringing. He was in Catholic church. He was punished harshly, brutally by nuns. So he kind of like had this bad view toward religion, but still, I think, believed in God. And then my mom, strongly just a random Christian beliefs in Jesus. And so we were brought up knowing Jesus. We went to church, like regular Christian church, like 1 to 2 times a month, you know, like that's a good amount, I would say, in the early 90s for, you know, somebody to be helping their kids and taking them to church. Here's my view on Christianity, you guys. I'll be 100% honest. I don't think that Jesus was real. I think that the story that was made is based on a really deep conspiracy. And if you want me to get into that, I super will. But let me bring it back to the point. Believing in Christianity made me a good person, bringing me up. It made me a good person. It made me know that there was a God and that there's something bigger than us and that we have to be good here on this plane. And I think that that is like directly related to what we do. So I think Christianity is beautiful because if it brings people up to be good, loving people, and I'm not talking about those Christians that like judge. I'm talking about the people that are kind and nice, you know, and believe in Jesus, okay? And Jesus is all over India. Like, there's giant statues of Jesus. And I think that's cool because they have so many gods, just like we do in witchcraft. So, some people say that you cannot believe in Jesus and do witchcraft. Why? Why can't you do that? Why can't you be an eclectic witch and do that? And I'm telling you right now, I believe that Jesus is a fake story, but it brought me up well. Please let me know if you want to do a video on that. It would take hours, but I would take hours to research, but I would love to do it for you so I could say it properly. So Violet, I hope that answered your question. I've looked into religions my whole entire life. Every single one. Every single one. I have a book in my cupboard on every single religion that I know that's out there besides cults, okay? I don't have any Scientology books. But I'll get one just to read it. So I've like, my whole life, I have this big Hindu sleeve, and I have, you know, Mary on my leg, and, you know, a rosary on my arm, and so I have religion painted on my body. And I have bast on my leg. And so, like, through my life, I've been exploring these religions, and finally just, like, came to this, and this feels like what I've always been meant to do. So, how did I come across my path? I mentioned that earlier with another question. I was researching conspiracy theories and found out along some kind of, you know, sidetrack trail that witchcraft is an actual thing, and then what it was, and then I just started YouTubing and finding out like what's going on, then buying books, then going into metaphysical shops. Okay, divination. What do I use? I use tarot cards, and I put a quartz point on the top, and I leave them in the moonlight so the moon can draw down into them. And this is the Thoth deck, the Carly deck. It's really beautiful. But it's a difficult deck because the suits are different. And I cut mine. I wanted to get a vintage one, and then I decided I didn't want anybody else's energy on it, so I got a new one. And then the other deck I play with, this is actually a super funny story. I wanted to get the holographic Rider-Waite that I saw somebody post on the Pagans and Amino app, so I got it on eBay and I got the cheapest one I could. And it's in Chinese. See at the bottom? Eek. See at the bottom there? So anyway, the thing that's cool about that though, I think, is like, I read that you're supposed to just look at the cards and see how you feel and then let your intuition tell you. So if they're in Chinese and I can't read them, that's kind of perfect. So I'm excited about that. Tips for a new witch. Okay. Don't think that you need everything all at once. And don't think that you need to, like, do it exactly as anything says. Like, please find your own way. Please know that things will come to you. Go out into nature. Things will come to you, you guys. You can take the seeds out of your lemons. I do it. All these things. You can go and find a bird's nest or a monarch or some little bees, or if you're in a place where you can forge stones, you can get stones. You guys, and I know in Scotland they go out and forge stones, and I know in Alabama you can go in caves and forge stones. So all over this earth, there are just the most beautiful things waiting for you. And for a new witch, I would also say get into meditation right away and try and figure out how that works, because it's really important, really, really important in this craft to attune with the silence of your mind. Close your eyes. Close them. Be with yourself in silence right in front of your altar. Make a little meditation stool out of buckwheat. Look into that. You could throw some mugwort in there to sit on. You can make it out of special herbs. Maybe we'll do that together on this channel. That would be amazing. Okay. So I think that that's it, you guys. Oh no, Violet also asked what herbs are a must in a witchy garden, in my opinion. And I would say mugwort, rosemary, and sage. If you can grow mugwort, rosemary, and sage, the mugwort will be super powerful, the rosemary will be super protective, and the sage will be super cleansing. So those are my three that if you could do in your witchy garden, you should. Also, Violet says, moon energy, I'm always on about it. Do I have a background in astrology? No, but I would love to. And I would love to, it's just so extensive. Like, I've always more been into plants, just really all my life. All my life. Internally, externally, all of it. But the moon, I've always attuned with. Like, for instance, I can't tell you the last time I've been asleep during 3:33 in the morning or the PM. I just can't tell you. I always see it every single day. I always tend to look at the clock right at that time. That's my guide's number. And I'm usually awake during the middle of the night. Like, I take a 6 to 10 p.m. nap, or a 5 to 10 p.m. nap sometimes, and then I'm up during the night because I'm doing spell work, you know? Like, that's the time I attune with the moon, and that's why I'm going to do that nightshade video, which is coming up for you guys. Oh my gosh, the nightshade video is going to be great. Okay, I talk a lot about charging with music. Oh, also, if the moon, if that's something you want to get into, get this planner in the year that you're in. Get this book in the year that you're in. The Lewins. And, I don't know, this isn't, like, super great, but this is the other moon book I have. So, but this planner will tell you how to, like, guide your life to the moon. For instance, on full moons, I tell my job, like, I can't work that night. And they're like, what do you got going on? And I'm just like, that's, like, personal, I can't work. Or I'll tell my clients, no, I can't work with you that night because it's the full moon. Oh, got it. And then 2 weeks later, it's the new moon. Nope. So plan your life with the moon if that's something that you want to get into, because it can be really super great. Also, I would say for a new witch, like, having a resin would be really good because I feel so attracted to them, but that just depends on you. I talk a lot about charging with music. What bands, songs help me personally charge and why? What I feel, explain. Okay, if you guys saw the video where I was in the complete darkness on my knees on the floor with my record player and a candle, I was charging myself. I had had such a hard day. I was drained from energy, and I was down there just charging myself. So what kind of music do I like? I love this question. I love talking about music with friends. I'd like to say that I like Nirvana and Hole, but I do believe that Kurt's death was not a suicide. Alright, so my favorite bands. My favorite instrument is the harp and the steel guitar. Steel guitar is so flipping amazing. Check it out. There's a lot of it in like Pink Floyd, Neil Young, Sheryl Crow has a little bit. Gosh, 60s and 70s music has a lot of it, or old school country, like classic country. I love Neil Young, I love Terry Reid, I love Pink Floyd, I love David Bowie, I love Peter Frampton, I love Built to Spill, I love Jefferson Airplane, I love Janis Joplin, The Doors, Nirvana. 90s alternative grunge is like my thing. Huge influences to me. Portishead, Tori Amos. If you don't know those ladies, please, please, please look up Tori Amos Cornflake Girl live performance so you can see her play her piano. It's magical. Watch Tori Amos play the piano. Watching that video makes me want to stomp my hand. Like, it is so powerful to me. And I'll try to link it in the bottom. My husband just told me how. By the way, I wore this at my wedding, and it's like this big, awesome, giant hooded cloak, and it's so cool. What other bands do I love? Tool! Tool is my favorite band. My husband and I, for the last 3 years, have been touring around the country every summer to see them. The year before last, we went to Philadelphia. They weren't playing here, and then 2 weeks later, they decided to play here, so we saw them like twice in a month. So amazing. I love the Rosemary's Baby soundtrack. La 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 la. Black Sabbath, Johnny Cash, U2. I mean, you guys, music is my thing. And like Hollywood, you know, I love to send music, right? Like that's the thing that it just lights up my soul. So I think I got through this video. Yeah, it might cut off. All right, love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A because I really did. Have a great day.